The next program is some poetry from SQU.
Every day it's a new page. If a page is sad, next will be happy. So don't worry. Turn the page and enjoy the life.
Colorful Hours by Sheikha Hilal Hamad Al-Busaidi from the College of Arts and Social Sciences.
Colorful Hours. With my friends I forget my old all. We paint our colorful hours. In spite of the pains which we hold, the happiness fills us with powers. I need you, dear friends, with every sun of every day. Be with me till my end, lighting up our way. Friends, if you stay with me, I can change the sea to land, and in every top we will be. Just let me hold your hand. Being a friend is a grant to share our tears. It gives us what we want and breaks all the fears. We are all one soul, no matter how old. We can achieve any goal for the whole world to see. Colorful Hours.
Recipe for happiness in Khabarovsk, or any place. One grand boulevard with trees, one grand cafe in sun, strong black coffee in very small cups, with one not necessarily very beautiful man or woman who loves you one fine day.
One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost that their loss is no disaster. Lose something every day, except the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster. Places and names and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch, and look, my last, or next to last, of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones, and vaster. Some realms I owned, 2 rivers, a continent. I missed them, but it wasn't a disaster. Even losing you, the joking voice, a gesture, I love. I shan't have lied, it's evident. The art of losing's not too hard to master, though it may look like, write it, like disaster.
3700, a novel written by Mu'tasim al-Ra'isi and Athman al-Ghafri. A scene from Chapter 3. Chapter 3, Unifying. 2 days later, the Legion of Elana country returned back to the village. I got perturbed and perplexed when Loki summoned me and informed me with a tremble in his voice that the Legion was on the way to our village. Those nitwits, what do they want? We made ourselves clear that there was nothing to come between Khalid and us. Loki, what do you intend to do? I hurriedly and unknowingly queried. For a moment, a hush passed over Loki's head, and I was fully cognizant that Loki was agitated, not because he feared these brigands, but because the men of the village were not ready to be in clash with any other army. Plague on them! I was once told that the soldiers of Elana country are dogmatic, and would not leave a country without uprooting every single tree, and assassinating every single man, even children if they get wrathful. Loki sighed. My eyebrows arched dejectedly, and I, with my forehead puckered, said, Loki, are you intimating that we will have a fight with those people? How do you know? They might have left something behind, and they are coming to get it back. I confusedly suggested. However, Loki was not oblivious to what I suggested out of apprehension. Finally, the vacillating Loki commenced to mutter something under his teeth, as if he came to a conclusion. Sasak, go to the hammock and watch these thugs. As soon as they get closer to our village, come and inform me. I will have a word with Wish He might have figured on doing something about them, said Luqi with asperity in his voice. I drifted right away to run the commission. However, the fervid sound of a ferocious war had already been so resounding in my heart, as if an anvil was horribly struck near my ear. I couldn't help asking myself innumerable questions about the imminent calamity that was about to sweep the village. I was fully cognizant that the soldiers of Folia were not able to defend our adored village because of the deplorable condition of the men. I knew if there was anything to happen to our people, we would be in the firing line, since from the first day of being knights, we took an oath that the village would be protected by us. I didn't expect what might the other knights say. Wished, the leader, Sud, the vulture of death, Aisha, and my brother-in-law, and the closest person to my heart, Luqi. That was no situation to be called charade. It was a sober situation. I half-heartedly felt the earth was trembling under my feet. A fable written by Uthman al-Ghafri. The Cat and the Raven. Once upon a time, there was a cat in a very dark forest. He was very hungry. He couldn't find anything to eat. While he was walking, he saw a strawberry tree. He tried to climb it, but it was high for him and he was too weak. A raven came by and squawked. He asked, "Hey, hungry cat, do you want some of these strawberries?" The poor cat said, "Please help me. Throw me some of these strawberries so I may live." The raven laughed and laughed. He said, "If you want some, get some wings first and fly. Ha ha ha!" Then the raven flew away. The cat slept with disappointment. Out of a sudden, the raven fell from the sky after he was hit by an airplane. The cat jumped on him, but before he ate him, he said, "I don't need wings to live on, for there are many fools falling."
This poem is called A Happy Birthday by Ted Kooser, the former Poet Laureate of the United States. This evening, I sat by an open window and read till the light was gone and the book was no more than a part of the darkness. I could easily have switched on a lamp, but I wanted to ride this day down into night, to sit alone and smooth the unreadable page with the pale gray ghost of my hand.
A poem by Mu'tasim Raisi. The peak of my childhood. When I see the sun rising up, I yield to the old days when my life had no chains. The innocent grin was my only shield. The lavish days when I was not to sin, and the stars were a multitude of friends who used to blink and say, "Come here, urchin." Ecstatic I felt when they called me, "Lad, go wash your face." I did not care because the immaculate soul was all I had. It's all in vain to bring those days just once, as that smile I had has faded away, and those days were surrounded with a fence. It's only now I feel my thin blood bleak, after I grew and left that shiny beak. A poem by Mu'tasim Raisi. A strangled dream. When the clock of doom really rings, there will be nowhere else to go. The chimes of life to slaves and kings turn to be not more than a woe. When the clock of doom really rings, no more blue eyes, no more dark lashes. A home? No home. all homes in ashes. No mortar hears a bird that sings. After the clock of doom does ring, no man should die as death is full. No blood should ooze as land is full. No bone should break as wind is full. No flesh should burn as hawks are full. So, why should be a strangled dream? Why should be a crying beam? I have a dream, as white as fleece. Or maybe it's a spark in the dark.
How do you teach? By Ahlam Al-Rawahi. How do you teach? Do you merely preach or passionately inspire, lifelong knowledge acquire? Do you blindly punish lazy late-comers, or do you passionately act as an arouser? How do you teach? Do you see a learner in you as in them, or you see unfaulty practitioner? Do you guide them to the glow? Aha, now I know. Or feed them, I have always known? Do you show them how learning is fun, noble and enlightening? Or do you merely stuff, nonsense informing? How do you teach? Do you merely preach, relinquishing something called mind flourishing, or sincerely prospering appreciation of me and you and the world? How do you teach? Do you agitate curiosity and thirst for more, or hush hunger with a spoon of roar? How do you teach? Do you only preach theory, formulas, and gloomy grammar, or do playful discovery of mystery? How do you teach? Do your kids act, react, and interact, or plainly recite books and fact? Do they leave from the classroom door with a smile, excitement, and contentment, or hurriedly leave with mindless bodies and resentment? Tell me now, how do you teach?
When you are old and grey and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read, and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true, but one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face, and bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars.
How can you? By Ahlam Al-Rawahi. How can you love someone, or even someone's, so deeply? How can you show them that they mean the world to you, just as you mean the world to them? How can you embrace them with all the passion and adoration you have for them? How can you? How can you, with all the life business you live in, show them that you love them unconditionally, and that life is nonsense without their existence? How can you? How can you prove to them that nothing matters more than them, and that whatever happens, you'll always be there next to them, supporting them, and being their utmost inspiration and courage? How can you? Haven't you been away for days, months, and years, seeking your dreams and hunting for the impossible, while they waited for you, longing for your beautiful presence? There they come to your mind, as you rest your weary body and busy head on your pillow. You then remember how much you miss them and how much you need them around you. Your eyes glimmer in yearning, your body squeezes itself in longing, and your face glooms in amazement. How could you? How could you be so selfish? You thought your dreams lie in your traveling, in competing linguists and scientists, in excelling in research on sociology or technology, in giving inspiring talks on education and dedication. And then, what about you and them? What about your little tickles on their tiny bodies? What about their sweet giggles and little tiny palms hiding their shy smiles? What about their cute faces appearing from behind the walls as you play hide and seek? What about their hugs and kisses as they sit on your lap and as you tell them stories about your great life? Where have you been all these years? Isn't it time to return? Isn't it time to show them how much you love them and how much your vocation means nothing without them? Go, it's time. Never delay. You don't own tomorrow, nor do they. Go before it's too late, before they grow and find you away, before they believe they meant nothing to you, then they realize you mean nothing to them. Get up and go. Go to your sweet home and loving family. Go and never stop until you feel the warmth of home and family, until you enjoy the true love of your beloveds. There you can achieve your true dream, the dream of raising a family, being a loving parent, and being equally loved and embraced. Go and enjoy.
This poem doesn't actually have a title, but it often goes by its last line, which is "Nothing gold can stay," by Robert Frost. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down today, nothing gold can stay.
A fable by Aesop. The Lion and the Statue. A man and a lion were discussing the relative strength of men and lions in general. The man contended that he and his fellows were stronger than lions by reason of their greater intelligence. "Come now with me," he cried, "and I'll soon prove that I'm right." So he took him into the public gardens and showed him a statue of Hercules, overcoming the lion and tearing his mouth into two. "That is all very well," said the lion, "but proves nothing, for it was a man who made the statue. We can easily represent things as we wish them to be." That was the lesson we learned from this fable. A poem by Majid al-Kharusi. A father. A father, you think's only a word, consisting of 7 letters. Very slight. Like what? A tiny bird. Then look, no head you have about such matters. I cry to death when I say father. My heart burns when I say father. My life darkens when I say father. This word has divorced my shaking tongue. Since he left me here all alone, to cry, to whine, to weep, to moan, he headed to his timeless throne, the grave that welcomes him and us.